So I met up with this girl on Wednesday night. Today is Saturday. And honestly, it was pretty incredible. Like, I can feel myself smiling just talking about it, but she genuinely, it just brought me alive. Really. Just the energy she had, the resonance that I felt on so many levels. And safe to say, I definitely left that interaction that night, just the romantic in me wondering, like, what if, right? But at the same time, there's also that rational part of me, or rather the rational part of society that tells me, don't get overinvested. Don't, show that you're too eager by, you know, wanting to hang out again so soon or whatnot. And it's as if it's like as if you trick or gaslight yourself into being like, dude, there's no way you actually feel this strongly, this quickly. But the thing is, in the past, I might have listened to that per se. I might have, tried to temper my expectations to numb myself to the possibility of what if. And while I do agree that there is some prudence there, to ground yourself in present more than, fantasized realities, I also feel like that's at the same time not the way I want to live, right? To go into the interactions that I have with people and the experiences I have in life, preparing myself for the potential fall, not allowing myself to fully feel things, to not quote unquote overthink or overinvest. Because what if, right? And I mean this in just a lot of different senses, right? Not just this one, but it can be applied to so many other areas, right? Like, what if you tell this person that you like them? What if you choose to go all in on this passion of yours, right? And it's like the fears that arise, what if she doesn't like me back or he doesn't like me back? What if it doesn't work out? What if people laugh at me? What if people judge me, so on and so forth? And you never allow yourself to fully experience the possibilities of those feelings, right? Those painful feelings of rejection, of dreams and whatnot, stuttering to a halt. And the way I think about it is that if we think about being human as this spectrum, right? Just a spectrum of 1 to 10, 1 being the absolute most painful emotion you can think of. I don't really know what word that would be, like suffering, maybe? And 10 being just like pure elation, bliss, joy, whatever you want to call it. So often in life, we try to avoid living with pain. We try to avoid the possibility of disappointment, the possibility of rejection. We try to avoid those 1s, those 2s and 3s, and we think that we can somehow get by, that we can still not experience this other half of the spectrum, and yet we still get everything else. But the thing is, that's not how life works. Life gives what you give. And if you're not willing to give yourself all to life, to whatever that may be, right? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's your dreams, whatever it may be, if you're not willing to give it your all, then life won't either, right? Because in order to experience the 8s, the 9s, the 10s, you've got to be willing to be bold and courageous, and even in the possibility of rejection, of falling short, of whatever it may be, that fear, that possibility is always there, no matter what, because you don't control life. You sure as hell don't control another human being. And to try and act as if you do it's like trying to grasp onto air or to hold water in your hands. Because life, if you go about that way, if you go about just avoiding these lows, you avoid the highs, and all you end up doing is living in this gray area of existence that is 4 through 7. It's comfortable. It's comfortable, it's safe, it's certain, right? Because we're avoiding all the fears of the what ifs of if we were to step boldly into that unknown. And we get none of the reward either, right? Because 4 through 7, this middling gray area, I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem like the way I want to live. Just having slight upticks here and there, slight downticks. Life is consistent. Life is entirely predictable, not full of surprises, because you won't allow yourself to be surprised. You won't embrace and open yourself up to surprise. Just as much as you won't open yourself up to the possibility of your fullest potential. Because those 1s, those 2s, those 3s, those fears that you have, on the other side is everything you've ever wanted. Love, your dreams, seriously everything. You have to be willing to give yourself all for that. You can't live your life timid and afraid of what may or may not happen, always tempering yourself for the possibility of the fall. Because when you do that, when you numb yourself, when you discount the potential of life in either direction, are you really being human? Are you really being human by selectively choosing which experiences you want to have and which that you don't? To only experience the 4s and through 7s, to live a life devoid of pain and hurt and disappointment. In my mind, my opinion and my belief is to not live at all. So, when I think about how I live my life and that voice in my head that says to temper your expectations, to not give your all to someone or to something, that's not how I want to live. Because I've spent so much of my life in the past doing that. I've get my truth in my throat when I wanted to shout it. I've played games to not demonstrate too much interest or to come on too strong. I've not taken my dreams seriously enough, convinced that they were nothing but a fantasy. But now, I choose to live my life differently. I choose to remain open to everything and anything. Because when I think about all the change the past few years of my life, the fact that I'm even sitting here right now in like Taipei, across the world from where I'm supposed to be, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't embrace all of those difficult emotions and experiences, if I didn't give all of myself to everything and anything that came my way. And my friend, he sent me this movie that he wanted me to watch called Call Me By Your Name. Maybe you've seen it. And the final speech that the dad gives, I feel like, is just incredible. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but I'm just going to read it for you. Which flatters you both, father completed. Nature has cunning ways of finding your weakest spot. Just remember, I'm here. Right now, you maybe don't want to feel anything. Maybe you'll never want to feel anything. And maybe it's not to me you want to speak about these things, but feel something you obviously did. You two had a beautiful friendship. Maybe more than a friendship. And I envy you. In my place, most parents would wish the whole thing go away and pray their sons land on their feet. But I'm not such a parent. We rip out so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster that we go bankrupt by the age of 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to make yourself feel nothing so as to not feel anything, what a waste. Have I spoken too much? Then let me say one more thing. It'll clear the air. I may have come close, but I never had what you two have. Something always held me back or stood in the way. How you live your life is your business. Just remember, our hearts and our bodies are given to us only once. And before you know it, your heart is worn out, and as for your body, there comes a point when no one looks at it, much less wants to come near it. Right now, there's sorrow, pain. Don't kill it, and with it, the joy you've felt. And when I think about my own experience, brief as it may be, as naive or childish as I may sound or be, I'm grateful that I felt something at all. Because to feel nothing, what a waste that would be.